Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey, and Daytona, Florida. So we just finished up Hollywood's bike. This was half the work we do at the shop is wiring rescues, fixing other shops' messes, and this is one of the biggest of the year. So Hollywood went to a shop, trusted them to do the build, went with all the recommendations. On the outside, the install looked good. So open up the tour pack, 4 large Tramps amplifiers in the tour pack, neatly installed. So I'm thinking it's not going to be much work for me. When I lifted up the tour pack and saw what was going on underneath, it was insane. So they cut giant holes on the bottom of the tour pack and mounted 8-inch sealed back speakers. The holes they cut were so large that the tour pack cracked and had no support on the back, so the tour pack was flopping. There was no fuses in the tour pack at all, even though there was 4 amplifiers. There was a fuse under the seat by the battery. They had sold them a lithium that only lasted a few weeks before it got destroyed. The wiring was terrible. Then one of the parts that really upset me is, I understand we have access to just about every part available for motorcycle audio, and we keep it in stock here at the shop. And just like any other shop, sometimes we run out of stuff, but this I would have never done. You can get grills for the lowers in the tour pack for like $20 on Amazon. They're not the grills we use, they're not the grills we recommend, but it allows you to protect the speaker. And these guys took grill mesh, doubled it up, wrapped it around the speaker, and then taped it to the magnet using colored electrical tape. I've been doing this a long time and I've seen a lot, but this is a good one. That's one way to make a speaker grill. Holy crap. You know, you could buy grills from Amazon for like $20, right? It actually took more labor than putting the right part in. I've seen some shortcuts in my life. Doesn't matter what your shop labor rate is. Let's say your shop labor rate is $80. It took you longer and it cost you more money to get the mesh material and glue it and poke the holes in it than it would have been to... I've been dealing with Hollywood for weeks. He's a great guy. If I tell him he needs something, he says, okay, go ahead and do it if it's gonna make it right. Go ahead and do it if it's gonna make the bike right. I'm sure he gave this shop the same exact opportunity. They just took it upon themselves to do whatever they wanted with his bike, and it's really not fair. So the bike didn't have a lot of bass, which amazed me considering there's a 3,000 watt amp on the bass. It's a different brand than what we use, but it's power is power. And then once I got into the saddlebags, I realized why. Saddlebags weren't reinforced. There was random holes in the saddlebag. I guess it was an attempt at a port, but it was only about 1.5 inches big. So there was holes where the bags were leaking air. The way the woofers were wired, it's crazy to me. So they used small connectors to bring the wire into the saddlebag, and then you'll see in the video, they used the terminal on the subwoofer as a distribution block to distribute all the way. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It was so one of the woofers was bad. The speakers facing down the tour pack weren't doing anything. The speakers in the lowers didn't have a chance to give any kind of mid bass because the way they wrapped it ended up closing off the back of the basket and then stuffing it into the lowers. It was just poorly done. So he authorized us, and I like to reuse as much equipment as possible to save the client money. He didn't want to take a chance. He wanted a solid, reliable system, so he had us pull everything out and start over. So we started fresh. So first we needed power, so we started with Limitless lithium battery, nano V3, all NVS Audio oxygen-free copper wire and RCAs. So we did a 0 gauge from the battery to the distribution block, then we did 4 gauge runs to the tour pack, and then we did 2 8 gauge runs to the fairing. We ran a 3000.1 sound digital in the tour pack. We ran a set of NVS Audio 10s in the saddlebag. We ran Cicada horn tweeters in the tour pack and the mirror holes just to cover up the holes that were already there. The bike didn't need the additional tweeters, but I was able to adjust in the tune to get everything to play well together. We did Cicada CH in the upper and lower fairings with Cicada grills, not made up mesh grills with hot knife screw holes poked through them. The one 800.4 is bridge to the fairing, the other 800.4 is bridge to the lowers. Then the 3000.1 runs the 10-inch mid-bass drivers in the saddlebags. Quick disconnects, we ran thick 10 gauge wires to each of the woofers with XT90 disconnects so it can handle the current that the 3000.1 puts out. Kept the Sony head unit that he had, added HKI mini DSP, and tuned the bike. This bike sounds phenomenal. It's way louder than it was before and has 4 times more bass. We're happy with the way it sounds. He's happy with the way it sounds. Check out the rescue. I'm going to show you how it was when we began and how it turned out when we finished. Carlos Ramirez, owner of NBS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey and Daytona, Florida. So this is not the way I wanted to start off my day. Came to the shop to see what's going on, just landed back in Jersey. So a little wiring rescue, no big deal. So we got the dollar store RCAs, that's fine. But then when you get under here is when you see the real mess. All right, so fire hazard, no problem. Let's go over to the bag. Okay, so we have horn. I guess that was their attempt at a port. But this is where it really gets crazy. They used the terminal of the woofer as a distribution block for some speaker wires. Of course, this horn doesn't work because that lead snapped off. So we're gonna have to, we gotta rip everything out and start over. I've been doing this a long time and I've seen a lot, but this is a good one. That's one way to make a speaker grill. Holy crap. You know, you could buy grills from Amazon for like 20 bucks, right? It actually took more labor than putting the right part in.
hacer. Dices que te arrepentiste, que ya lo pensaste, que no eres la misma que si y lloraste, y que aún mereces todo mi querer. Déjame solo vivir esta vida que sabe a ternura. Por más que llores, que ruegues, no pienso romper mi atadura.
Always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Regulators. Regulate any stealing off his property. Look damn good too. But you can't be any geek off the street. I'd be handy with the steals, you know what I mean? Earn your keep.
A clear white moon, rolling jiggers on the streets, trying to consume some skirts for the E, so I could get some phones, rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls, ain't no need to tweak. Call you